Welcome to another video here at successforfelons.com. Today's video is Figuring Out Who You Are by Mr. Gary Vaynerchuk. Mr. Gary Vaynerchuk, he is a serial entrepreneur and the CEO and founder of Vaynermedia, which is a full-service digital agency serving Fortune 500 clients, and a person who you should listen to if you're trying to build a home-based business.
Figure out who you are, don't apologize for who you are, and then become even greater than you naturally are at what you are.
I know something only I know. I got superpowers, but that's something only I know. What I want is mine if I say it in my mind.
My inbox, that form on my website that goes to DeSimone, the biggest thing that I want from this salesperson is not to do new business for Vaynermedia the way you and I think about it. It's to turn the 400 to 900 requests a week we get that really want some version of me. They don't even know what they want. And into something. It's time to create a CRM of everybody who asks me for something, convert them into something for myself, Vaynermedia, or the Vayner family of millions of characters, and then create data.
Yeah. Do I got the time now? Shit these niggas dream about is not even a milestone. Call up Dr. Seuss, I think they running out of rhymes now. Jugging and finessing.
I love it. Well, listen, I'm gonna talk to my brother and see if we can figure something out that's cool, fun, interesting, and worthwhile for everybody.
Awesome, Gary. Thank you so much.
My pleasure. Have a great day, my man. Bye-bye. I will. Keep at it. I will. There's one fucking thing I can guarantee everybody right now. Let's go, Jets. Jets. That I'm gonna keep fucking at it. We close? Bam.
Niggas keep repeating they so like they in a vine. Oh, why they gotta lie up? Say them diamonds dancing, homie. We know
Nice to meet you, man. Meet you, bro. Where am I going? 8. Hello. How are you?
Good, how are you?
Good. I'm Gary Vaynerchuk.
Gary?
Yep.
Great.
How have you been?
I've been great. Have you ever been to our
Mm-hmm. I have.
I think the last time you were here.
How's the podcast been going?
Good.
How many have you done so far?
I've done 5 or 6, and I've got, maybe I crammed like 6 more next week.
Right.
So we're doing, it's been tech entrepreneurs so far. Next week we have like Tim Armstrong's going to do one. We're going to interview Sheryl Sandberg.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so,
Pretty legit.
it's a good group.
Clearly. It's so funny. I actually think my kids are gonna have a harder time being successful than I was. I think being born in Belarus, coming here with nothing, my parents working every minute, that instilled a huge competitive advantage, a chip on my shoulder, a work ethic, that I think there's a very big reason that in the American meritocracy system, by comparison, there's always stuff, but in capitalism, or the version that we've lived through in the last 50 years in America, immigrants win a lot. I was a very poor student, which was really unusual for immigrants, but I didn't see education as my way out. I knew that I had it, and that originally started as I'm a good salesman, and then it was I'm a good businessman, and then it was I'm a good operator, and now the current term is I'm a good entrepreneur. So yeah, it's a DNA thing with me. Even online dating. I met my wife on JDate, right?
Wow.
In 2003. When it was,
I was around in 2000.
right, and when it was super like sacrilege.
Only 2 users?
No, it was pretty, New York Jewish dating scene was pretty hopping, but I just remember thinking like in 10 years, every single person, I didn't think they'd be swiping to the right, but like I'm like, every person's gonna do this because this is practical. And so people are romantic. People are like, well, I'll never buy a tomato on the internet. This is what I heard in '96. I'm like, hey, well, because time is valuable, because other things matter more. And so I knew, because I thought people would buy stuff on the internet long before a lot of people thought.
What is dinner like with Mark Zuckerberg?
Well, listen, this is 2008, 9, 10. That's the Mark I know. I knew it. Like, when I tell you I knew it, I wish I was video blogging back then. The first dinner I had, it was so interesting to me. So I'm built on emotional intelligence. I'm not the smartest. I just know what people are going to do. So he's a tech kid and an engineer and a Harvard kid. So I go in thinking he's that. I leave that dinner, I'm like, fuck, this kid absolutely gets human behavior. So that's when I knew binarily that he was going to win. Because I'm like, wow, he's got both. He knows how to build it. Like, I can't build stuff. I'm not an engineer. That's not what I'm into. I'm like, but he understands what I understand. That was it. I mean, I was just bought into him from day one. He's super smart. Listen, we're a funny match in the 10 or 15 times we've interacted, because I only want to talk and he only wants to listen. That's why he'll probably end up with a hell of a lot more money and be successful. But he's extremely bright. I like him a lot. I think he's kind. But most of all, he just understands people. And that's weird, because people look at him as like introverted and quirky and all that, but I don't see it, and I never saw it. And obviously he's more media trained and grown into himself. So I can't speak to how he rolls now because I haven't spent time with him, but I can definitely tell you there was no confusion from those initial meetings for me, and I mean none.
How do you get rid of friends who are useless to you? Or
It's
like,
not,
what,
you know,
what
that's,
is that
and you know what's
goal?
funny? It's not useless, right? This has been the one that I've been very hot on talking about in the world, but I've been scared of, because even when you just said that, I'm like, this guy's terrible.
It's a good provocative headline.
It is. I think that people are keeping very negative people around them, and if they aspire to change their situation, it's imperative to audit the 7 to 10 people that are around you. And the reason I go after a friend or a parent, I mean, in the details of that headline, I said, hey, you may have to audit your mom. And not that I want you to never talk to your mom again, but you may want to take a step back. And I've done this for friends and acquaintances, and it's a very painful, eye-opening experience to realize, wait a minute, my dad actually doesn't want me to be successful because he's not happy. And you know, whether you call it misery loves company, and it's not like parents are bad people, it's a human trait. It's just a thing. So to me, in a world where it's much harder to get rid of your older sister forever, it might be intriguing to say, hey, I've had this friend who spends all their time making sure I'm not going to the next level, and it really came around the fact of who listens to you when you complain. The only groups of people that will listen to you are the people that have to, your core family, and your other loser friends, right? Like the other people who also want to complain about their boss. And yeah, I thought it was actually a very good, emotional, not willing to be talked about, non-politically correct thing to say, maybe if you got rid of one friend or spent a lot less time with one friend who's a real drag and a negative force, and added a positive person in your office as somebody you now, if you switched it from 80 days hanging out with your negative friend and 1 day with your office acquaintance who's super positive, to 4 days with your negative friend and 12 with this new person, not only do I believe, I've physically watched me mentor people in my organizations to a totally different life on that thesis. Listen, I don't hide from being an extrovert. It comes natural to me. I can't contain it. I actually think there's plenty of negatives that go along with like being out there. But I think whether, you know, I see a lot of people who come to me, introverts, hey Gary, I want to be like you. I want to be out there. I'm like, why? And they're like, well, I'm like, you're crushing it being you. You need to be more you, not a little bit of me. Self-awareness. I need to run, and we'll do this again, I promise. Self-awareness. And then reverse engineer it and put yourself in a position to succeed.
Yeah.
Let's go, Jess, we're late.
I said, you gon' remember me. You said, what's your name again? Friday, don't call, but it's alright. I'll re-jog your memory.
How are you?
I said,
Thank you so much for doing this, man. I really appreciate it.
My pleasure. I mean, you got a good sales pitch. It's only 4 minutes.
4 hours.
I just can't explain to everybody like clearer, when you figure out who you are and do all that, you win. If you're great at painting, paint and hire a partner to be your salesperson. If somebody at 20 years old made me their business partner as a painter, they'd be the most famous painter in the world. Yet, most painters wanna be the salesman and businessman and women, as well as the painter, and there's a problem. 85% of painting, 90% of people that are great at painting are artists and don't have the DNA to sell, and vice versa. All my sales friends and business friends that want to start all these businesses around something creative, I have bad news for you, Joel. You know, you can be a great salesman, but your pottery sucks shit. And so that's that. So like, and it's, that's a very funny analogy for the following. Figure out who you are, don't apologize for who you are, and then become even greater than you naturally are at what you are.
I think too many people give a shit what other people think about it as well.
Well, that's the whole game's broken because everybody's too tied up into other people's opinions. I only care about my opinion of myself. And I care what my mom and wife and kids and the world think, just not as much as I care about the way I think about myself. And that's it, just that slight advantage. And I think most of you care more about what other people think than what you think about yourself, and or you actually don't feel good about yourself, right? The thing that made me smile, when you just introduced me, you said, I'm one of the most motivational people in the world, comma, and everybody I know that's met him said he's the nicest guy. There's no comparison to the better feeling of people that have actually gotten to know me say that versus millions, hundreds of thousands, tens of thousands thinking I'm the coolest. And that's it. I mean, that's it. And that's why it's easy for me to feel good about myself, right? And so I think a lot of people need to start with themselves. Maybe the reason they don't have more confidence in themselves or care about their opinion about themselves versus others is because they know they're doing things they don't like. So they need to work on that. I get offered and emailed 5,000 different requests for podcasts and shows, and what I think my friend here, let's see his name, Evan, Evan Carmichael introduced me to Bo. What Bo has figured out is time is the asset, and so if you want Kevin Hart or The Rock or Beyonce or Ja Rule or Richard Branson or Tony Hsieh or Sheryl Sandberg on your podcast, maybe you should start the 120-second podcast. And then you gotta be creative and try to figure out how you get, maybe you create the one question video show. That's it, the whole show's one question. Promise you, a lot of people that you want as guests, if they see in the headline, I just need 4 minutes of your time for the one question show, a lot more are gonna say yes than, can you be on my podcast for an hour and a half? What's going on with this shit traffic?
We got like 15 minutes.
Tell me the story, would you please?
Yeah, yeah. Hey, look, the happy rapper's not so happy now. I remember when I used to laugh aloud. Nowadays, I only LOL. Through text, cause I don't wanna talk. Don't touch me, I don't wanna feel. Rewrote this verse a couple times. First time I kept it way too real. Back before dropping, keep it real. You really dropped me on my ass. I sent 100,000 texts. Don't think you
Live?
We're live, ish. Ish. Hi, how are you? Yeah, that'd be great. Thank you. How are you? Such a pleasure.
Nice to see you. So I'm a traditional television producer, and I'm dying to get into digital. I feel like it's time to shake it up, go for something I don't really know. I'm kind of ready to take the risk, and so I kind of thought I would
Just see what's happening in the
just
world,
see what's
right?
happening.
Yeah.
So I was wondering if you looked at my resume or. If
I
you
haven't, but that's.
But if you, I have it with me if you want it. But
Talk it through. Give me. I'm more audio anyway.
Okay.
So context it up for me. Hulu and Amazon and Netflix are the preview. There'll be more players.
right.
I mean, I'm going to be on Apple's one of Apple's new original shows. Like, there's a lot going on.
Yeah.
I actually think this is very similar to publishing. Remember, like 8-9 years ago, everyone's like, if I'm a newspaper journalist, I'm dead.
Yeah.
You're not dead. You're just going to work at different places.
Right.
So I think you could fit anywhere. I think the bigger thing that I can help you with is not necessarily anything other than 4 to 5 to 7 people to meet.
Yeah.
That can give you the speeding up. I mean, I think the one thing you'll have to kind of wrap your head around is, I don't know how fluffy or comfortable the budgets of the traditional TV world were, or are, or the people you've worked with. I think that's usually the biggest thing that people struggle with when there's a landscape change, is that usually when there's a big landscape change, which is absolutely gonna happen with television, you're coming from the end of an era, which means it's the fattest and kind of like most manifested of the overhead that it takes to do it, and then you go into the new world, and then the new world becomes the old world.
Right,
You know,
right,
cable
yeah.
when it was first produced was,
Right, yeah,
right? You
yeah.
know. Let me give you a really good piece of advice. If you are not on Snapchat, you should get on.
Okay.
And you're not on it.
I'm not on.
Good. Let me show you something that I want you to, that's very important to the 15-year part of your career.
Okay.
Maybe not tomorrow, but definitely in 36 months, this world is very real. Which is, you're not gonna understand this. Snapchat's the hardest to
I know,
understand.
I've heard it's pretty hard.
But you're gonna
I know
have,
people that use it all
but
the
you're gonna
time.
Google,
Right.
Google how do I use Snapchat?
Yeah.
You're gonna download it,
Yeah.
and in a day you'll get it.
Yeah.
There's a part where they call discovery, where their media is done.
Yeah.
In here, you have to see how Bazaar is producing. Like, you have to see what's happening both in video
Gotcha.
and audio form, because this is where the world's going. Like,
Yeah.
you have to understand
to
this.
understand that,
If
yeah.
you don't, you're basically making radio content
Right,
for the
right.
television.
Right. Thanks.
Such a pleasure.
You too.
Yeah, have a great day.
You did. Don't try to eat with me now. If you couldn't starve with me then, a couple months ago, fuck, it was hard for us to be friends. Your heart is so much bigger ever since I made it big. Man, that's weird.
Cool, you jump in here.
Let's say this
you
way we
guys
have
go in there.
maximize our
Yeah.
time, yeah.
Good afternoon, Gary.
Good afternoon, how are you?
Good.
Good to see you. Michael, how are you?
Buddy. Big day.
Big day for us.
Remember me, you said, what's your name again? Friday.
Let me know if you can make it.
Don't call, but it's alright.
Yeah.
I'll re-jog your memory.
What? Why are you able to get me the new episode so quick and D-Rock takes so long? Could be a quality thing. Maybe D-Rocks are really good and yours are like mailed in.
You hold your passport like that and take a photo. I think Tyler has your passport.
Is that true? To prove who I am or whatever?
Yes, so basically it's just how they get verified.
Got it, okay.
Trying to get you verified on social platforms. So you're
Okay.
already verified on Weibo. So
Great.
You can make IG story like stuff on Weibo.
I sent you and Tyler an email.
Yep, got it.
Got it.
You will win. But if you are upset that somebody else's ramp happy got them ahead of you, then you're gonna lose. Everybody started ahead of me. I'm just catching up.
That's the best.
Share is the best thing ever.
So essentially the question are really going to be related to Jérôme,
Perfect.
how you meet,
Yeah, I'm
etc.
ready. I don't need to know anything. I'm ready to go. I was speaking in Toronto in a conference and went to Q&A, and Jerome raised his hand and said, if I beat you in rock, paper, scissors, can I come to New York and have coffee with you? And I said, sure. Came on stage, he beat me in rock, paper, scissors. I met him in New York. A couple months later, he comes to New York for a 10-minute coffee. I was hoping to get out of there in 8 minutes. 2 hours later, I'm asking Jerome to come with me to Los Angeles 2 days later to spend some time with me. What ended up happening was Jerome started talking about what he believed was happening on Vine and with Vine influencers. I had lived through that with YouTube and Twitter. I believed him, and we decided literally that night to start a partnership around this amazing world of influencers on Vine.
And so that story that he has that it was kind of homeless, super hard in New York and things like that. In fact, he met you very quickly. And
He met me right away, but to his credit, it was very hard. He literally slept in our office. Our business didn't have any money yet. And he wasn't making money from brands, so Jerome's struggle was real. Yes, he met me, and yes, I had a business, and I could have paid him more, but he wanted to own on his own merit, and we were building a business together, and so he kept it very humble, and he grinded, and there was many nights that people would email me and say, there's a man sleeping in our office. That was Jerome Jarre.
Really? Really?
We're in New York City at VaynerMedia headquarters, 750 employees here. We're an advertising agency that focuses on social media and digital media.
Really? Yeah.
You're welcome.
Yeah. What's the deal? Why you niggas stay down my scales?
Yeah, let me show you around. 30 days, in 30 days or so, 30 minutes with him and his two boys, right?
Wally Coyote, I'm the nigga with the plans. Niggas wouldn't last one day.
Right. How do you amplify? Let's have a meeting. I know what to do. Love you, pal. Good to see you. Good to see you. Smell good, bro. Talk to you. Old friends, fun. Life is good, man. Busy. I am, I don't know. You tell me.
Couldn't grab 1K of these fans, believe me. It ain't easy. Shout out to my nigga G Easy. Super duper Kyle on tour, girl, gotta come see me. Got more shows than a motherfucking TV. Really?
To be very frank, this probably ends up being a huge win. I'm committed to whatever it takes to make everybody feel delicious on your end. That's number one. And then number two, it will then force a conversation on two fronts. One, getting us aligned on some of these things on a Facebook world where all the action is. There's so much good happening, but it also then leads into like optimizing creative, which is something I want to do a little bit more of. So we'll open up that can of worms as well. Yep, I understand. Cool. All right, I'm really behind it. I'll start digging even further. And then I'll give you any updates along the way before the summit, okay? Okay, talk to you, bye.
On the road to glory, people come and people go. Why should I feel sorry that I was fast and they were slow? Misunderstood, but it's all good. Enjoy my view from Hollywood. And if that's what they call me, it's all good, I'm Hollywood. Yep, enjoy my view from Hollywood.
You know what'd be amazing? A video, and then there's somebody over here, you're watching, and over here, and it goes, if you see this and go to this URL, we'll give you, what if you gave away 1,000 something, but only the people that moved and saw the information? Because then the press picks, then everybody goes, no, you have to turn to get, then people will start understanding the game.
That's interesting because
that's what you need. You need a piece of content that not only brings enormous awareness that you're the leader, but teaches people what to do.
I get to watch a movie on a giant screen.
I got it.
That's what it is.
Time to go? Okay. I want to do another wine dinner ASAP, like we did the other day.
Like one of the smaller ones?
Yeah, you know how we did 8 people? Yeah. And there's 2 people I want. I want him, and I want Jacqueline, who's in my, can you email both of them and see if they're around in 3 to 4 weeks? Pick a day, cancel something, because I feel like I'm locked in pretty hard, so give me some options. And let's do another wine. I'm starting to do these little wine dinners, introducing friends. You just came here, Hoboken, I think it'll be good for you.
Well, I keep it real and I don't think I'll ever change. I'll never lie if you can look me in the face. I swear to God that weak shit isn't in my veins. I'll never change. I keep it real, I keep it real, my nigga, I keep it real.
Nice to meet you, man. No,
I
thanks.
watched all your videos, great, man.
Thank you,
I'm
man.
from North Carolina, so I just came up here recently.
Yeah.
It's awesome, man. Thank you. Real pleasure to meet you.
Thank you so much for my music, you know, the scenery.
Yes,
through the
yes,
airport,
yes. I know it.
Crazy. My heart was beating. I was getting up there. You made it, right?
Yeah, we made it. We made it. It's my pleasure.
We'll grab a quick pic.
Matt, nice to meet you, man. Thank you, brother.
Just grab a quick
I
pic.
get it. Picture, sure.
We need to
Thank
get
you.
audio for a podcast. Can you hear real quick? If you can. Yeah.
Yeah, let me do this. I'm
That's fine,
30
man.
minutes late. See ya. Let me give you one massively good piece of advice. I will always say no when I'm being told to do something. Always. It's like how you guys have, how you've not picked up, like you've picked up on every single thing except.
Can you lower my salary?
What's that?
Can you lower my salary?
Yes.
Real nigga since day 1, so fuck you if you hate me. Been a working nigga since day 2 and a rich nigga since day 3. Learned this shit on my own, so what the hell can you teach me? Kyle Harvey's no clone, you couldn't see me with HD. With a telescope, with a microscope, nigga in the dark with a lot of phones. I'm over rappers who smoke weed with white girls and get Emma Stoned. I'm not saying they're weak, I'm just saying that they're not me.
We're done?
You only have 1 year.
That was it, right?
He had a hip.
That's it? It's a wrap?
Well, I keep it real and I don't think I'll ever change. I'll never lie if you can look me in the face. I swear to God that weak shit isn't in my veins. I'll never change. I keep it real. I keep it real, my nigga. I keep it real.
Alright. Thank you for watching this video. I hope that you keep up with the daily videos that I post on this channel. Subscribe, like, dislike, but most importantly, share this video with someone who's willing to learn and who probably needs to hear this information. One love, my good peoples. Make it a phenomenal day.